Welcome to another edition of EBX Discussion. Current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view, I salute you and thank you. And it is one's duty to share inspiration one gets in that divine mental file, as a lot of us are on fire out here. Salute and always call down protection from that great divine over our families and children while they out here in this sometimes weird world that we're living in. But when we stay vigilant and stay practicing and stay maintaining, nothing in this world can mess with us and take us out of our divine zone. And there will be a little background noise. Again, they're still working on the street, so you might hear some background noise, but we're going to keep plowing through as us spell breakers and generals do, because those taught me, whether it's family, brother or sister in the world online. So I'm going to take up that torch. Again, it's one's duty, as I heard in a comment, someone that commented on one of Lord Lamont, salute to Lord Lamont and my children and family. Y'all know I got to do that. And who's doing well. And we don't know what we'll be speaking on this next Saturday, but I'm sure we'll have something by the time it come around. Because when we flow it naturally, on that wonderful divine spirit, some wonderful things will just come about. And again, it's not about coincidences. It's about just flowing with the principles of Mama Nature and that great divine. It's wonderful. But going back to what someone said in a comment, man, the righteous is worth the challenges. Real talk, because the benefits override or outweighs the so-called challenges. But it depends on how strong we are, how much willpower we have, how sharp our intuition is, and what circles we run in, and what we view, and what we harbor in our soul. All those things are important, And when we stay vigilant and practice human nature, especially ourselves, and especially if we've been doing it for a while and we've seen results of just living a righteous life, not a perfect life, but a righteous life, so we can, have them perfect intentions, and man, we can breathe better, see better, we feel better, mind, body, and soul. It's important, and after the practices and the lessons, and we're doing what we're supposed to do according to principles, we become one with our body and we listen to our body. That's why I got this on the banner and or thumbnail. And I've spoke on the chakras. I did all 7 of them. I studied them individually, and I got them right here on one's channel. And I'll put 1 and 2 in the end screen. And it's many ways to get to know our mind, body, and soul and stay aligned with it and really living it, not just saying it, because it's easier said than done. As I always say, folks, this for me too, always and forever, keep a student spirit, okay? But there's many ways, to maintain one's sanity and health and mental health and all those things, There's many ways, but I would say one that would be at the top of the list is becoming one with our body and studying our chakras. That's what helped me, and other things, mastering one's emotions and knowing when to pull back and when to step forward. We learn that art of balance, principles and things we already know. We should need no law, principles, things that we know we shouldn't do, We all get that gut feeling, whether we pay attention to it or not. That's something great divine gives all of us, whatever label we put on it. But most of us call it intuition, instincts. And I used to say the first instinct is usually the correct, So be thankful for the generals out here that decided to step into that power of accountability and take up that torch and blaze through these weird ass times, Well, some parts of it, but some parts of it is educating too. Just again, depends on what circles we run in, what we seeking, and what we want to learn, and what we want in this life, or need, I should say. Because my favorite thing, great divine gives us what we need, and the righteous ones will come, as well as that other powerful force, the beautiful, wonderful Mama Nature. And it's beautiful today here in the Milltown. It's nice outside. It was beautiful yesterday too. So I will be getting some footage outside. Me and Lord Lamont, we got to get outside. Well, me more than Lord Lamont. Lord Lamont always outside nature, but I get out in it. But I think I can get out in it more. And I want he and I to do some footage outside, just breathe enjoy, that, and notice the beauty that is around us amidst some of this chaos, because we've got to be aware of that too. Can't be out here dumb and naive, but at the same time enjoying our life and paying attention to our body, keeping ourselves healthy. We're a general out here. We got to keep ourselves healthy so we can carry out, things we need in this life, and purposes we have, and goals and all that stuff. So the body is very important, as well as the mind and the spirit. As I said, mind, body, and soul, one can't work without the other. And I kind of broke that down in that the Great Divine Watch Over Us podcast. I talked about that in there. That's what was on the banner. And DMX, rest in peace and in power, he was our inspiration in that podcast. And yesterday I did Mike Tyson, and the title of it was Having a Tyson Spirit. And we gotta chase that devil away. We step into fear. We don't walk away from it. No, we step into it. Even when it feels weird, and we all say, get comfortable. Get something Lord Lamont said. He said when he used to work out, his workout coach, when he used to lift weights and stuff. Well, he still do work out, but he don't work out like he used to. That's something me and Lord Lamont can get into too. See how things just come up. Righteous power, brothers and sisters. It's undeniable. When we live it, step into it, and embrace it, and say, F that devil. But he said his coach used to say, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Whether we want to or not, everyone has to face that threshold in their life, that threshold of hard truth. And whether it's in the world, it's our personal lives, especially ourselves. That's how I say, again, become one with our body. And knowing our chakras, I think, is a great way to get to know one's body, and being real with it and really breaking it down. That's why I studied each chakra one by one. And I'm going to kind of go through them. I'm sure many of us know what chakras are, and we've heard of it. Some, we got some that, man, no chakras inside and out, But there's always something to learn. So always and forever, keep that student spirit. We won't miss nothing. All right. So let's go. Our intuition will get heightened, our intelligence, and man, just being an upright human being is beautiful. We can breathe in this life. Then we're ready when the so-called storms or chaos or around us are coming. We be ready. We know what to do. And it's good to be in that space, but it takes practice, paying attention, as we all say. That lovely word that get thrown around. Focus, brothers and sisters. Man, what Miyagi say? Actually, I was just watching Karate Kid yesterday. He said, Daya-san, you need to focus. And what Jackie Chan say in the new Karate Kid, your focus needs more focus. Real talk, man. Can't go wrong when with righteous focusing. You can never go wrong, All right, so I want to read these chakras because my color is red. So I'm the root chakra. And then orange is the sacral chakra. Then we got yellow is the solar plexus. And I did all 7 of these. I studied them individually. And I got all 7 videos or podcasts right here on Lord Lamont and I's channel. Okay, let's start all over. Okay, red is the root chakra, which is my color. And orange is the sacral chakra. Yellow, solar plexus. Green is the heart chakra, which is probably one of the most important chakras. They all important, but I would say different. Some of them are different levels of frequency. I'll put it like that. Blue, throat chakra. That involves singing, speaking, So, yeah, that's a good area to study because that's important because we gotta transmit what we get from our mind and from our spirit come through our mouth. That filtering process. All right. And to me, as I said before, I say between the root chakra and getting up to the crown chakra, man, and it's in layers because some people take a lifetime to get to that crown chakra, and sometimes some never get there, righteously speaking, All right. What I said, the green was the heart chakra. Blue is the throat chakra. And purple is, let me see. Third eye. Okay. Okay, my bad. Excuse me for the pause. Purple is the third eye. My bad, because that's Lord Lamont's favorite color. And let me see. Third eye is purple. And the crown chakra is like a maroon color, So I remember me and Lord Lamont had a little debate about that. He was right though. The third eye is purple, and that's his color, So find out what your color is, and look it up and see what part of the chakra you are. Cause my color is red, and as I said in the past, Brother E used to have a challenge with lusting, and it connects to the root chakra. And of course, I'm talking about when I was younger, younger days, and I always said, and whatever challenge, like I said, many things can stem from lusting. You of course, sex, money, attention, addictions, all those things. And I'm talking about just like, every time you see a woman or a sister, like, ooh, wee, she got ooh. I brought myself out of that, and really seeing the beauty in the female and our sisters, and it feels better. It's just so much better, So just have appreciation and an understanding, overstanding, and an understanding about the female, not just from a lustful standpoint, because that'll blind you. That's a blind spot, as I read in the podcast yesterday. That's a blind spot, that toxic lusting shit. So, again, we can go a lifetime. So, again, my color is red, which is the root chakra, and I don't know, some kind of connection why I used to have a challenge with that. But as I said, the only way to know we have conquered something in ourselves, in life, just something in general, when we get faced with it, when we get tested by it. So many tests will come, because when we stop doing something that we used to do that we didn't like or it wasn't good, it's something that always been there. We just never noticed it. And when we stop, see, that's the power of righteousness. That's why I said righteous power on the banner. When we step out of it, and we got good results from not doing toxic things anymore, like, wow, then it gets amplified. And as you hear many people who have stopped doing toxic things, the devil will ramp it up, everywhere you turn, whatever struggle we had or used to have, the devil will amp it up, just to see if we are what we say we are. I mean, the devil will test you, real talk. So I learned that, I had many tests, and see, if you pay attention to your intuition, your gut, you're like, I know what this is. I know what that is. And that's a wonderful space to be, but it takes practice, awareness, focus, and seeing the results, because that's what we, study and research and learn and become better and greater because of results and our behavior. Again, toxic behavior not only affects ourselves, it affects others. I kind of went a little deep into that yesterday, so we can have a righteous ripple effect, or you can have a toxic one. It always go back to choices. If one is healthy, become one with our body, folks, get to know our chakras. I think that's the best way to empower oneself in one's theory and or opinion. So yeah, and it's wonderful when we conquer something. It's so empowering, and when Great Divine tap us with a little bit of that power, where we could see things and anticipate stuff. Wield it gracefully. Don't step into manipulation. Don't think we're better than nobody. Just flow and be thankful. That's something I had to teach my son Ethan. Sometimes I don't give the money to him. I give it to his mom, Nika. Pretty brown, as I call her, she has very pretty brown skin. I've learned, even though her and I has had challenges, I've come to understand why she's the way she is now. I don't get caught up in toxicity, because we can't be like a toxic person, place, or thing, but I understand at the same time, because she's been through things in her life to make her the way she is. But she's kind of mellowed out, and she's having some challenges right now. So I told her she better focus on her health. That's what she better focus on. But she has pretty brown skin. Some days she just glows. I tell her that, man, you glowing. That's the beautiful thing about carbonated brown skin. It just glows. Yeah, but I was telling my son, because I give the money for Ethan, I give it to his mom, like the hold for him or whatever, in case he needs something, And he was bragging to his siblings about money, and so I told him not to do that. Don't be bragging about stuff, because, in my theory, or it really ain't a theory, it's a principle. Great Divine Mama Nature don't like braggers. That force doesn't like braggers. It wants us to appreciate. Let that Great Divine let us shine. Not social media, not media, not because of a platform. It's like I said, Having a platform is a place of expressions. Be thankful one can speak. Don't take it for granted, because the quick as we get some, quick as it can be gone, whether it's taken soon or later, So just flow and be thankful for whatever we have, because a lot of times, some of us, not all of us, some of us, we get a little hinkling of power and lose our damn mind, or we get a platform and speak and lose our mind. I'm talking about those who do that. We got those that's upright, that appreciate their platforms, but it's bigger than this. It's above and beyond. Like the globe I got by my name and Lord Lamont. It's way beyond. It's a big ass world out here. But be thankful if we got a voice and we can speak. And it's not how many views we get. It's not how many subscribers we get. It's who's subscribing and who's viewing. So once I started living by that principle, I started looking at speaking and being able to speak in a whole different way. Because when one speaks, I'm speaking to that great divine. It's just beautiful. We got generals and spell breakers riding along. Because remember, we're leaders and teachers. We ain't no damn followers. We're changing that damn narrative. And it's nobody's better. No one's better, just different. We got to stop looking at each other's, if one's not hurting themselves or hurting no one else, got to stop side-eyeing each other. Now, those evil, whoever doing evil, it'll come out. We don't have to worry about that. We focus on those who are building and making this world a better place. Real talk. So become one with our body spell breakers. Please don't you dare give up and get to know our chakras. I'm telling you, and we will step into that righteous power all day, every day. So that's why I got this on the banner. You might not be able to see it that well on the banner. You might see it better on the thumbnail. But I just wanted to show it, to put something in one's subconscious, Get to know our chakras. It's a good way to empower oneself and pay attention to our body, Health is very important. We learn this too. And that's something I had to learn, and somehow share to others, Again, don't let ourselves become spiritually stupid. Don't let ourselves think we're invincible. Anything can happen at any given time. So that's why we got to stay on it. And I was going to cash my check yesterday, and it's just so beautiful. I'm telling you, when you're in a space of righteousness, and I know it sounds corny, but it's just doing what one's supposed to do. Not more than just a spiritual person. I'm talking about just the upright human being doing what the heck we supposed to do. Let's start with the basics before we get to the deep spiritual. Okay. All right. Now, it's just amazing when you are in a positive space and, you're not mixed up in chaos and toxicity and all those wrong things. It's like Mother Nature just send righteous things in the breeze, and that breeze could come through a child or a person we see out and about. Now, I was cashing my check yesterday, and it's a sister that works at the the check cashing place where I cash it, and she's very positive and always upbeat and always got something good to say. And we were speaking yesterday, and I was telling her how Milwaukee one day is cold and one day is hot. He's like, that's okay. She said, just keep taking your vitamins and eating healthy and you'll be fine. I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Just it's amazing to get jewels like that. And it's things like that be around us, but some individuals that be in their head all the time, they miss when you're in your head and you're not listening. Now, again, one's not perfect. I have my moments. Like I said, sometimes, some days I'm positive and upbeat, and some days I'm serious and focused. We got to know ourselves like this. Again, we study our chakras. We'll get to know different emotions and what we feel and all that kind of stuff. And just be human. Just be us at the end of the day. But, most of the time we're balanced within. But when we know our emotions, that's when we know ourselves. That's when we have stepped into that righteous power. Because it's also about being a realist too. Not about, though I love nature and the clouds in the sky and all that, but the analogy I love to use, not just floating on the easy cloud, because some days the storm can be silent, and some days it's kind of aggressive, but the power of balance is a beautiful thing. But she told me that, and it's good to hear stuff like that, because it's in your memory bank. Always keep positive things in our divine memory bank, because that's a weapon against that punk ass devil, because it'll come at us, at if not all angles, every angle, Got to think like that. That realm, we are the power source of our realm. Everyone has a realm, whether we know it or not, So, but it's nice when we do know we're in the spiritual realm, and we can almost, I would say, we can control it, but I mean it in a righteous way. And the only way, I'll say the most important way to control our spiritual realm, again, is paying attention to what? Signs, synchronicities, dreams, and deja vu. Because those are the most powerful tools to master one's realm. I'm talking about righteously, Again, any kind of power we get, whatever it is, I'm telling you, better wield it gracefully. Better be thankful, Because as quick as we get something, as quick as it could be taken away, whether it's sooner or later. So just appreciate the gifts and the blissful and blessful things we come across. Because when one is living in greatness, those things will come. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, And we be humble and thankful about it, Don't be cocky and arrogant and manipulative and all the things that are the poison. Danger, danger, danger. Man, stay whole and stay humble. The best way one can, and share it to others, and be in the business of what? Building generals. And when we're doing that, and we ain't taking no shit from no punk ass devil, we have stepped into that righteous power. And finally, emphasis on finally, become one with our body. And as I said at the beginning of this podcast a little while ago, get to know our chakras. It's a great way to become one with our body. I put a guarantee on that. Facts, All right, so let's get to this hip-hop break. I always have a hip-hop break. It's good. I call it hip-hop break or a stimulation break because I love hip-hop. I said it before. I say it again. It's one's first love. So get a good look at this image on the banner here, This is kind of going inside our body and see what make us tick, And I got 4 spell breaker statements when we come back from this hip-hop break. And I do have 2 summary breakdowns on righteous power, and it's just living a fun, free, and joyful life, but firm, general at the same time. That's what righteous is all about. It's not about trying to be this perfect person, but striving to have perfect intentions, and let our vibration put others on fire, make them want to do better, go deeper into oneself, and man, be the powerfulest generals we ever was, So just things that's been in us the whole time. Again, as you hear the most powerful philosopher say, brother or sister, things we end up manifesting when we do come into greatness, it's things that's been in us the whole time. We learn this too on this wonderful, joyful walk. Things that already been in us, things we just don't pay attention to sometimes. But you know what? It's not all our fault. It's the ways and sways and the powerful distractions of this world that can keep us seeing that wonderful sunshine that's just shining inside of us. That's why I got the pictures of the sun on the banner here, because the sun is the most powerful thing too. The sun is powerful. If it got too close, it'll burn all our asses up. It has to be a certain distance, Again, I'll reiterate, go back to what Shoulder King, the comedian, said, which I thought was brilliant. He said, what is it in the universe? What power source out there? He was speaking on, the God theory, and the God spirit he was speaking on. He said, how did that spirit know to have the sun so many distance away from the earth? Ponder that, because whatever label we want to put on it, something knew that it would harm us. So that's why it's so a certain distance away from earth, right? And that's really something to think about and ponder. That's the brothers like Shoulder King, and there's many brothers and sisters out there that are deep thinkers just like that. It's amazing, man. And that's what we need, because you never know. We can hear one jewel that'll benefit, that'll propel us in life, that just help us. That's why it's very important what's behind the positive word. I'm telling you. And when the real being speak, as KRS-One said, when the real being speaks, all nature in the universe responds. But emphasis on the real divine being, deep, deep, deep in that core, got to get underneath all the gunk, and get to that great part of us. If we're healthy, mind, body, and soul, I'm telling you, nothing on the outside will be able to stop us. And we have some shining, warrior and soldiers and generals out here. Brother, sister, family in the world, online. Remember, a global perspective, and all of us will become one with our body. And man, righteous power, it'd be seventh nature to us. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Seventh nature. That's what we need to get to. We got to think above and beyond these little ass bodies we in. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. A lot of us say that, but ponder that. All right, well, let's get to this hip hop break, stimulation break. And again, I got 4 spell breaker statements. I read them last. We're going to go run through them summaries so I can put it in our subconscious about having the importance of righteous power, even if it's challenging, even if it's easier said than done. I don't give a damn. The benefits override the challenges all day long, because when one is righteous, I'm telling you, it feels better. We move better. As I heard someone say in a comment, quiet life, we see more when one is quiet. I'm talking about quiet spiritually in our soul, and there's no manipulation or evil or plotting or none of that shit. We just flowing naturally in our soul. Man, I'm just flowing through life, like the principles of that beautiful Mama Nature. I thank Mama Nature for making me appreciate the beauty in the female and in our sisters. I thank Mama Nature for that, man. Whoo. Yep. So and we really appreciate it, and so that's why I call my son's Ethan mom. I call her Pretty Brown, and Ethan, he really lights up when his mom and I connect, and we are vibing. It really lightens him up, and his siblings. He loves seeing us. They all do love seeing us get along, and we have to, because as I said on yesterday's podcast, there's a bigger enemy out here. We need to get over all this petty shit and competing and comparing all this dumb shit. It's ridiculous. It really is. So, because the real enemy is just laughing at people who do that. Real talk. So we got to be more powerful and above and beyond these platforms, not little platforms. I'm talking about, platforms. My platform is little. Hey, this the position Great Divine got me in. I know my position, but we got to be above and beyond these platforms and be thankful. Again, it's just a place of expression. Be thankful, because there's a time we didn't, so that's what Great Divine allowed us to have, this technology. So better wield it gracefully, because he will snatch it away, real talk. So, or that force, because it's not even a he, it's really, you can't put a label on it. The most powerful, one of the most powerful forces we'll ever experience. I always say that, Great Divine Mama Nature. And what is Great Divine, folks? The masculine energy, and Mama Nature is the feminine energy, So become one with our chakras, and we'll have that righteous power all day, every day, for decades to come, especially if we're alive and breathing, Conquer, man. We have to have a conquering spirit, but in a righteous way, F the devil. All right. Let me see. Let's get into this hip hop stimulation break, that is. And pay attention to this image. Get to know it, Get to know our chakras. Learn ourselves through our chakras. And empower ourselves and empower others. Because we need generals in our circles. Male, female, real talk. All right. Let me see. And speaking of sisters, females, I was watching this reel yesterday. And this sister can box. And she was beautiful. And she was heavenly built. She was shapely. Of course, of course we're going to see that. But her ability to box was amazing. I was like, wow, you would have thought you was watching a female Tyson, for real. The sister can box. It's another sister that be in these reels. She's another one that's heavenly built. And she can jump. I know a lot of people probably saw it. She jumped double dutch. And the sister is phenomenal. And there's other sisters that be in the clip too. Man, double dutch her ass off, man. So salute to that sister, and salute to the sisters who got good self-defense abilities. I think that's important, real talk. And the dude was punched, and he was throwing. They were sparring with each other, and you know how the coach have like the pads on his hands, and the one that's practicing or boxing, they're throwing the punches, and she was ducking them and side to side. I thought that was amazing, man. I was blown away. So that's another beautiful side about a sister that can that knows her femininity, but can be a little tough, but also know how to be a female. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what men want. A man want that feminine energy from a female, from a sister. The smell good, the soft skin, and the pretty and the beauty within too, the core too, because the beauty have to come from within, and that's what make the outside that much more beautiful. And but I just thought it was unique when she was boxing. So yeah, it's good for sisters to know defense skills, and yeah, that's something sisters should get into. Real talk. Maybe martial arts and boxing and things that can stimulate her mind and her and strengthen her soul. Things like that. Not the twerking and the booty pop. I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong. I'm a man. I'm not trying to act like I'm a prude and I love a beautiful sister. A heavenly shapely sister, whatever. But I have to say, folks, that booty popping and that twerking shit, it's getting old. It really is getting old. It really is. I mean, what do you? Is that all you have to bring to the table? Like the movie Players Club. What that sister say in there? She said, if that's all you got, then you don't want much. Real talk. But sometimes, like I always say, you can't break a spell unless you know you're under one. And it goes back to that lusting shit. It can have you under a spell and not seeing the real beauty in a sister, because you can miss a good sister by being led by lust. So we got to learn that, brothers who are, because we got a lot of brothers that's aware these days and, not trapped by shit like that. But we always say, never underestimate the power of the media and their social media. So, it's getting old. It really is. That shit getting old. But you have to be on the outside of this matrix to notice things that's always been there, but we just finally notice little shit, and that's one of them. So again, I love my sisters. I love the female. I think they're fucking beautiful. I see them all the time. But I'm sorry, that booty popping and twerking shit, it's played out. It's getting played out. Like some shit we see in some of this hip hop and music. Some people are just getting tired of it. Real talk. I see it in comments and shit all the time. People are just getting tired of the same old toxic shit. So be thankful for the generals that want to live a good, clean life. As clean as we can possibly live it, because none of us are perfect. But striving to have that righteous, powerful, it's beautiful, and the results will come. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So especially when we all become one with our body, all right? So I just wanted to throw that in there because, I used to have a challenge with lusting, So, I mean, like I say, I'm not bad. Just when I was younger, I never took the time to see the core of a female. But this is back in my younger days. But, a lot of females I ran across, some of them didn't know better. But somebody got to be righteous. Everybody can't be toxic. Real talk. So that's my point. Yep, somebody got to be righteous. So I don't mind taking up because, we hear the old saying. I know it's cliche, but it say with great power, I'm talking about righteous power, come great accountability and responsibility. I don't mind. It's worth the fight. Like I said, the benefits of being righteous outweighs the challenges. Real talk. Because being toxic and evil and rotten and blind, where the hell is that going to get you? So I definitely don't want to come into my graceful years that way. And again, folks, we have many examples around us. We've seen those, whether it's celebs or in our life or just people in general. Whether they had something or didn't, we've seen people, whether they did have a lot, rise and fall. So we better learn, real talk, because whether we want to learn or not, life is going to teach us. So ponder that, whether we want to or not. But be thankful if one sees now, which is the first song coming up, Be thankful we in that righteous power and we see now. So be back after this.
Yeah, it's for my spell breakers, family, brothers and sisters, generals. Salute, stay with it.
Dinner.
Remember where we came from. Yeah. One sees now everything around. Some of it is profound. One sees now Everything around, one sees now. Yeah, brothers and sisters, one sees now. Everything around, some is so profound. But be thankful, yeah. One sees now. Like E40 said, I came into this world with a dream and a prayer. Yeah, I didn't know evil things would be everywhere. Yeah, I be glad that we are here. I keep on forging forward. I'm like a dude in these songs. I keep saying things to make us strong. Keep going on a great divine zone. Yeah, if you don't like the E, leave me alone. Yeah, I mean to be mean, but I gotta do this to stay away from the scene. Yeah, observation is what we need in this life, making sure that we can see. Yeah, brother and sister and family. Yeah, in our soul will be a righteous peace and keep on going on. Yeah, never stop. Man, I love this thing, man, they call hip hop. The one sees now. Everything around, some things is so profound. Brothers and sisters, yeah. One sees now. That's why I go up in these songs of positive things, yeah. I keep going on, yeah. Just listen to one tone, yeah. I'm so thankful I never stop, yeah. In this life, you know I rock the spot. I don't care nothing about the spotlight to do with this, yeah. Keep my heart bright, cause that's what it's about, yeah.
No cloud, no.
One sees now, everything around. Some things is so profound. Brothers and sisters, be thankful. If one sees now, everything around. Real talk, this was more than a song. This was a be thankful if we're in a place of wholeness, as I heard from my great brother. And we see everything around. Protect ourselves, brother, sister, family. Spell breaker. Salute.
Real talk, man. And stay natural. And oh yeah, I want to give a salute to a brother. I meant to do it sooner, but a brother that had a recent birthday. I have to give him a happy belated birthday because he was actually one of the brothers that helped me. Okay, Lance Scurv X. Happy belated birthday. He had a birthday. Powerful philosopher. He's a powerful everything. And salute to Kwaku, because those two brothers, I kind of met him at the same time. So happy belated birthday to Lance Scurv X, who has great information. He has helped a brother. And as I said before, I say it again, the only platform I've ever been on. So he gave a brother a voice, gave a brother a chance. So I haven't commented. I still watch his shows and stuff, but I do everybody like that. I don't really comment a lot anymore. I just kind of backed off social media for a minute, and it's not no particular reason. I just kind of laid out, and I do everybody. I don't hardly comment on anybody's video, so it ain't no one person or nothing like that. So, but I always acknowledge those that helped a brother along the way, because as I said, folks, great divine, Mama Nature, always bring a warrior along our path, and that can come through family, child, brother, sister, in the world, online, because my family helped me too. Y'all always hear me speak on one's family now. My family is not perfect, but we've had our challenges. But as I said, for the most part, we are strong, firm family, So be thankful if we have come from a strong, firm family, even through the challenges. Because, again, we all had to go through our journeys and changes in life, But as I like to say, one's theory is everybody has their own spiritual realm. It's up to us how we wield that spiritual realm, All right, so I just want to send those salutes out to those two brothers I was just speaking on, and be as natural as we possibly can, brothers and sisters. And if we standing firm here today, we're here for a reason. Great Divine is not done with us. That's what I told my son Ethan's mom. She had some health challenges and stuff, and I told her, Great Divine not done with you yet. She's been through a lot, but she has made her impact. She's raised a lot of kids in her lifetime, not even just her own. She's raised other kids too. So I guess that was just a purpose for her. She's impacted a lot of kids, so, and through the challenges have done pretty well with them, Again, none of us are perfect, but be thankful that Great Divine brought us out the doom and gloom into our greatness, and we look back and like, wow, glad I didn't do this. I'm glad I didn't do that. Thank you, Great Divine and Mama Nature, for bringing me to a place of righteous power, because it's beautiful when we have arrived. But as I said before, and I say all the time, it can take a lifetime, but be thankful that we come into a place of awareness at the right time, through Mama Nature and that Great Divine. So, and we go through this life naturally, let things happen naturally. We earn our righteous power. It's just so much better, and there's much more to come. Great Divine ain't done with us yet, just getting started. Be back after this. Natural is the next song. Remember, I played both of these songs before, but kind of reminders, as I always say, and for those who may not have heard them. All right, be back after this. Yeah, EBX, salute to Lola, my family. Yeah, we gotta flow through life, natural, with finesse, and do our best. Let's flow through life, natural, with finesse, and do our best. I'ma do what I got to do, and I'm making sure that I make it through. And I want us to win up in this life, but man, don't see no lose. Let's go. Yeah, never be confused, man, never be no fool. I'ma teach me, and I'ma try to teach you. Let's go. Yeah, cause I listen to as I break it down and making sure I stay around. Used to be lost, but now one's found. Now I got that fire and desire. It's that Great Divine that I admire, and I want to lift us higher. I'm moving through this crazy life. And if we got a husband or a wife, stay away from toxic things and no strife. Yeah. In this life, with finesse, just do our best. We gotta flow natural, with finesse, just do our best and forget the rest. We gotta flow through life, natural, with finesse, just do our best. I'ma do my best and I stay a beast, and I'm making sure that I see ya in these rhymes, and also, man, I in my speech, and I keep on going off, and I ain't soft. Yeah, I never be lost. Man, I try to get them divine things every time I talk. Man, I keep that my family all up in my soul. It's how I go. I stay up on my square and keep us on our toes. I never let this world get to the E. I stay who I be, making sure I got good vibrations too. We deceased. In this life, with finesse, keep doing our best. We gotta flow through life, natural, with finesse, and keep on doing our best. Man, we gotta flow through life, natural, with finesse, and keep on doing our best. We gotta flow through life, natural, with finesse, and keep on doing our best. Flow through life, natural, with finesse, do our best. Wake up, music. Salute, natural, spell breakers, generals, Lord of my family, brothers and sisters all over the world. May that Great Divine protect us from ourselves and for ourselves, so we don't become our own worst enemy. Salute. Real talk, brothers and sisters. Never ever become our own worst enemy, because that'll bring, the building analogy I like to use, that'll bring the whole building down, man. The enemy within, whatever that enemy is, that's something we definitely have to pinpoint. Find out what that enemy within is and where it's coming from, and man, pinpoint it, get rid of it. Definitely won't see no greatness if we got things tinkering around in our body, or in our lives, personal lives, if we're healthy, so, but be thankful, if we are in a righteous space, because again, it can be challenging, easier said than done, folks, as a lot of us have experienced in this lifetime, and, all right, so let's get to, these summary breakdowns of righteous power. I just want to get it into our subconscious, and I got 4 spellbreaker statements, and let me see. All right, let's get into it, brothers and sisters. Let me see. I gotta move stuff around again. I always got to move stuff around. All right, Coco. Because I want to make sure I get this out right. All right, let's go. Leaders and teachers with a student spirit. Let's get into righteous power and how important it really is. Let's break it down. Let's go. Righteous power is a spiritual and ethical force not based on worldly domination that stems from, remember, said not based on worldly domination. Let me see. No, take that back. Let's start over. Righteous power is a spiritual and ethical force not based on worldly dominion. My bad. That stems from alignment with divine will, acting as a catalyst for transformation, blessing, and systemic change. Systemic change. It operates through integrity and knowing, not believing, as we hear most of our philosophers say, and justice, because we have to know thyself. That's a must. And justice, enabling individuals to influence our surroundings, resist corruption, and access to that great divine power to make a tangible impact, because it comes through thought, then action. Where the mind goes, the body goes. I say that a lot. Source of strength. Key aspects of our righteous power. Source of strength. It is cultivated through character, knowing thyself, and obedience to the great divine principles, with emphasizing, it as a compensatory power. Compensatory power. I never said that word. COMPENSATORY. Compensatory power that increases the ability to resist temptation and make correct decisions. Emphasis on make correct, righteous decisions. Like I talk about the booty popping and the twerking shit. We have to speak on it. Can't be afraid of it. Call it for what it is. That's what righteous power is all about. It's not meant to always be easy. Learn this on this walk. All right. Okay. Effective action. The earnest, heartfelt, continued, deep meditative prayer of righteous man or woman makes tremendous power available. Yep. Kingdom perspective, or queen perspective. Unlike worldly power, it focuses on serving, building communities, and bringing blessings in adverse conditions, according to our spirit, what we feel righteous in our soul. Transformative impact. It moves from a personal state of being clothed in righteousness to a public ambassadorial role that influences society, that influences society. Excuse me for fumbling. So in other words, we get right with ourselves deep in our core, in our soul, then we take it out to the world. Because it's always going to circle back to knowing thyself. It's always going to circle back to that. And an analogy I like to use, or a theory, when one runs away or stray from that God spirit or righteous things, for a while, we run away from God, but we always come back. And we talking about the real God. We ain't talking about man's God or some made up God where when we use it when it's convenient. No, I'm talking about that righteous force we try to ignore, deny, or run away from, but we always end up coming back, don't we? So just work on ourselves the best way one can. We all say the mental, the physical, of course, the spiritual, because everything else will follow. If we're righteous, we have righteous power, righteous things will follow. That's the design of divine principles. Now we know what the opposite is. So again, it's about cultivating a graceful life and graceful years to come, because the future is going to come, whether we want it to or not. Just like I said about learning, when we don't learn, life is going to teach us whether we want to be taught or not. And we're not sneaking and hiding from shit. We're really not. So just wasting your time and doing toxic things, like I said, that booty popping and twerking and all that bullshit. How long is one plan on doing that? Seriously, even if you are getting money from it, and that's just what one, to each is his own. But it's getting old to me. It's ridiculous. Again, like I said, I love the beautiful female and the beautiful body. Of course, I'm a man, but it gets to a point you just get tired of certain shit. You get up into levels of awareness or age. Your spirit just can't tolerate certain shit anymore. Real talk. And that's what righteous power is all about. Also, being a realist, as well as joy, fun, being positive, but we can't be stupid and ignorant out here, because that's what the devil loves, an ignorant, blind person. So we got to pinpoint those blind spots. What are the blind spots in our life? Always got to do a little evaluation on oneself every so often. Make sure we stable and nothing's hiding within our core. All right. So let's get to these 4 spellbreaker statements, and I'm gonna salute you divine generals on to your divine life. All right, let's go. Spellbreaker statement number 1: work on our brain like a muscle. That's the most important muscle in our body, and everything else righteous will follow automatically. So work on our brain, folks. Expand it, learn new things that we've never learned before. Like I said about the chakras, you want to really get to know yourself. There's many ways, but I'll say one good important way: get to become one with our body and learn our chakras. I'm telling you, you'll learn a lot about yourself, at least in my opinion. All right. Spellbreaker statement number 2: changing for the better leads to great results, breeds great results, not just in ourselves and others. Because like I said, our behavior, however we are, not only affect ourselves, it affect others. So let's make that a positive thing. Even while we're being a realist too, not naive or stupid, but we can affect others in a real and a positive way. Just making one see the core of themselves. All right. Spellbreaker statement number 3: take time to really see ourselves and see where we've been and where we are. That goes back to a little inventory on oneself every so often, just to keep us sane, keep us straight, clear, and seeing those blind spots as I spoke on. All right. Spellbreaker statement number 4, last but not least: do whatever it takes to maintain our health. And that ties into mind, body, and soul. I said before, and I say it again, one can't work without the other. The body has to be healthy. And again, folks, that's for me too, so we have to listen to our body and become one with our body. I'm telling you, and flourish in this life. We can be somewhat invincible, at least in our thinking, so, and that's what'll make our body invincible, when our thinking is right. Because I love to reiterate what Malcolm X said: when we're thinking right, we walk right. I'm talking about righteously. When we think right, we act right. When we think right, we talk right. We think right, we move right. Everything just gets more better and simpler. If we can just do the basic things of the human body, man, we'll be that much more powerful in that spiritual realm. Because as I said, everyone has a spiritual realm. So we get a touch of that power from that great divine, wield it gracefully, because just getting started, it'll just get that much more better. And again, know those blind spots, brothers and sisters. That is very, very important. What are the blind spots in our life, whether it's in our body, our personal lives, or just in life in general? So know those and know that righteous power. So thank those for coming in to another edition of EBX Discussion. Salute to my family and divine and biological brothers and sisters in the world online. Salute to Lord Lamont. I'm proud of him and all my children. Just think that great divine that is in our life. It's even in our lives and we don't know it, So thank those for coming in, and stay strong, stay vigilant, as I always say, and stay clingy to things that make us want to do better, and stay in our subconscious. Keep good, clean things in our subconscious, and stay a warrior out here, and don't give that devil no room at all, and stay clinging to our loved ones, and keep them up, keep them straight, put that energy in them. And again, always be in the business of building generals, Become one with our body, like I said, and we will step into that righteous power, real talk. And I'm telling you, man, treat our mind, body, and soul, brothers and sisters in the world online, children, man, step into that righteous power, become one With our body, man, treat our mind, body, and soul like Taekwondo. Salute.